What's up you guys, it's Aisling. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is super exciting because I'm doing something different. I haven't done a video like this, I'd say, in well over a year, and that is trying out somebody's makeup technique. The last video I did of this was Makeup by Ariel, which is Kylie Jenner's makeup artist. This one we're doing is Scott Barnes's makeup tutorial on Tati. If you don't know who Scott Barnes is, he is JLo's makeup artist, and that man has skills, I tell you. He is super skilled, talented when it comes to makeup, and he had such an unusual technique doing Tati's makeup that I thought it'd be fun to recreate it. When this video came out last March, I was so blown away by just the different techniques that Scott used, how he managed to pull the look together, because initially I was like, oh my god, how is this gonna work out? And I just kind of forgot about the video then, but Casey Holmes, who I absolutely love, uploaded a video just 2 days ago recreating this entire makeup look, and then it kind of pinged a reaction in my head. I was like, yeah, that video, go back and watch it. So I watched that video 2 days ago. I'm gonna watch the video again today along with you, and I'm going to incorporate Scott's tricks and tips and techniques into my own makeup today. And I'm kind of scared because I ain't no makeup artist, and yeah, he's just incredibly talented. Anyway guys, if you are new here to this channel, I'd love you to subscribe. If you like this type of content, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want me to recreate anybody else's makeup look. I can definitely do that. And without further ado, let's head on into the video. Start off, Scott does not use any sort of primer, which kind of like threw me. I was like, no, how can I start this without a primer? To start, he uses a concealer, and in the tutorial Scott uses the All Nighter concealer, which is extremely pale for me. I have Fair Neutral, which is just too light, and this is just not going to cut it for me today. So instead I'm going to be taking the Revolution Conceal and Define concealer. From looking at Scott's technique, he applies the concealer underneath the eye, out to the outer corner, and he takes it along like this part of the face down here. He places it in between her brows, kind of like brings it up here and then around the brow, which I normally would do this after I have applied my brow. Like, I will apply my brow, shape it, and then go around it with concealer. Then he places a bit of the concealer down the center and then on the sides, and he kind of like brings the concealer down on the sides to blend in with what's kind of like on the cheeks. And then he places it in the chin because he says he wants like to pull the chin forward to kind of bring a bit of light to that area. So now he's going to blend out the concealer, which is what I'm going to do now, and he takes it on a flat paddle brush like this, and it looks like he's just patting underneath. There's like no swiping, it's just patting, a patting technique. I actually feel like I have so much concealer on, and like there's certain areas that I went around a bit too crazy, I think. He flips the brush this way and blends the concealer up. I feel like I'm so not blending this properly. And the same on this side. And I don't really think he shows the middle bit, but I'm just gonna take the tip of it and just blend it that way. And then he blends up this way, back into like the hairline. And then he said he applies concealer to the chin and blends that to bring the chin forward. I have a mahoosive spot right here. It's like an under the skin one, and it's super painful. So I'm looking forward to covering that bad boy up. Scott goes in and cream contours. So I'm going to take my little NYX, what is this? Highlight and Contour Cream Pro palette. The contour that he uses is a bit warmer. This is the one that I'm going to take. This is called Toffee. And the brush that I'm going to take it on is a Chisel and Trim Contour F77 brush. I actually didn't think I'd have a brush like his. It's like a pink brush, but I have something very similar. He's taking the warmer color on this paintbrush like brush, which I have never done this before, and I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. What he does is he chisels out this jaw. So he goes down and then along the jaw. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then he blends it down like this. Oh god. Probably taking my earrings out. And obviously he does the other side. And And then he brings it all underneath the chin and blends it down. I think I have like the right colour for this contour because it is to be warm. So he does say that he likes to bring it onto the neck in like a V here. And then he brings it along Tati's collarbones, which she says she doesn't like to bring out because they kind of protrude anyway, which I totally feel you, Tati. My collarbones are always sticking out, but we're gonna do what he did. Next he moves on to the jaw and he kind of just like taps it here along. Well, I don't know, did I bring that in too far? I'm not sure. So he does like a swiping down motion, which is weird for me because I'm used to blending up, not down. Then he brings it around the forehead and he has it kind of like back in the hairline. This bit I could probably manage okay. Brings it around her temples and then like back into her hairline. And I just want to make sure that there's no paleness obviously in my hairline, because that would be a dead set giveaway that I'm wearing makeup. I want everyone to think I look really natural. So next he talks about contouring the nose, which scares me to death. I'm taking this little tiny brush. This is a Zoeva 241 brush. It's a precision smudger brush. It's for underneath the lower lash line. But I'm going to be using it to contour around the nose and my lips because that's what he does. He takes 2 lines going either side of the nose. And then he kind of makes like a little triangle right at the tip of Tati's nose. And I don't normally contour my nose because I have quite a small bridge. If I contour my nose, it just makes my bridge look even narrower. But that's what he does, so we're gonna do it. And then he contours around the lips. So scared for this right now. And underneath, which I am used to doing this because I do this in my everyday makeup look. So next up, Scott adds a bit of colour to Tati's chest because obviously we're looking a little bit paler here than the face. I'm going to take a body makeup. It's from Bondi Sands. It's their Glow. It's Body and Face Flawless Tan, but it's kind of like a makeup. It's super matte and I love it and it works so well. So I'm going to apply that on my chest. The only reason I'm taking this and I'm not using foundation is I just feel that this blends out better than a foundation on my body. I've used it a million times and I don't really think a foundation would blend in as good as this, and it's for your body and it's non-transferable. So I'm using, a Buff and Blend BB01 brush as well just to do this. You can use kind of whatever brush you have, I guess, because that's what I'm doing today. I'm just using whatever makeup I have handy. Okay, I think we're blended in enough. He uses a foundation that looks close to her skin tone, so I'm gonna take one from Inglot. This is the HD foundation and my shade is in 76. That's like the perfect color for my skin tone and it matches me pretty well, so I'm just gonna pop a bit of that in the back of my hand. He doesn't look like he applies too much foundation, but he does take it in the center of her face. I'm going to take my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush, apply it in here, because it seems to be what he does. I'm just going to place it over the bronzer because that's what he did, and I guess that kind of blends the bronzer into the skin. I don't know if I've lost the intensity of that bronzer when he goes back to set, because I can't quite remember, but I feel like he sets with a bronzer as well. Where else is he going? Along the jawline here. I guess it's kind of like blending everything out. Thank God, because I have a massive spot on the other side and I'm just dying to cover that up. Okay, there's that spot. Gonzo! Cheerio, mate. And he kind of brings it all along the jaw as well, so obviously blending the contour out and applying the foundation on. Then he applies it onto Tati's ears. Again, should have removed my earrings. Okay, so he does kind of apply that foundation over the contour, but again, I don't think he's adding any more. It's just like almost using it to blend it out. So now he's taken a lighter color foundation, and the lightest one that I have in my collection is the Healthy Mix foundation, and this is in number 55. It's called dark beige, but it's actually not. It's much lighter than my normal foundation, and I'm going to place that into the center because he said he doesn't want to remove the contour. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is at least 2 shades lighter, maybe 3. Actually, it's probably like 4 shades lighter. So he uses this mostly around her cheek area here. Chin as well. Which normally I would say, oh my god, this is so much product. But hello, I use foundation and then concealer on top. So what's the difference between putting concealer and then foundation on top? It just feels like it's a bit more of a heavier technique. He kind of goes over the lips at this stage, and he says he's not taking any product. He's just using what's left on the brush just to blend out that contour around the lip, which, oh my. And then he's just still taking that same foundation or whatever's left on the brush, if there's anything even on the brush at this stage. I'm just doing what he's doing because it doesn't look like he's taking up any more product. And he's blending out the cream contour. I know this is so extra, all of these steps, the foundations and everything, but I really like this technique. My skin looks flawless. I was worried for a mere moment. I'm not gonna lie, I was super worried, but I'm really liking the lip and what that did. Ooh. At this stage, the cream contour is still on the nose, but he's moved on to blush. So I'm gonna take my favorite cream blush. I know this is from Penny's and it's really annoying because you can't really get it, but it's called Hush Blush, and it's just such a pretty rosy color. He uses more of a coral shade on Tati, but I don't have that many cream blushes. So he applies it to the apples, like up under her eye almost. Kind of covers an awful lot of surface area with the blush. So kind of like all around here. Kind of where I would apply highlighter almost. He's applied the blush. Next he's going on to set the under eye area, and he talks about this powder that he uses. I think it's his own powder, that it's translucent but has a pink undertone to it. And I was like, I know exactly what powder I'm going to use. Makeup Revolution Lace Powder. It is a translucent powder, but it has that pink undertone. He skipped over blending out the contour on the nose, so I am just going to go in with my brush, the one that I used to apply the foundation, and I'm just going to go over it and just blend it in like that because I don't know how he did it. So I'm going to take this Kat Von D Shade and Light brush, and I'm taking the light side. So I'm going to pat that on underneath my eye, and he's using a big brush like this, and he goes over her lid also. And I don't even know if there's any product on my lid. No, I don't think there is. In between here to bring the light back, and then just on her chin. He's moving on to highlight. So I'm going to take a highlighting palette because he's using one too. The only highlighting palette I have is the Makeup Revolution Soft palette. So I'm going to use that. There's a kind of different array of shades. His palette actually looks quite similar color wise to this one, so I'm gonna see what he does. So Scott is using the most mahoosive fan brush, and he says that he mashes loads of different colors together. I don't have a big fan brush. I'm literally like taking every color, and he just kind of applies it over the top. So he's just washing her face with it. It's not like a real intense highlight from what I can see. It looks just more like she's kind of naturally glowing, which is what I don't mind. Actually looks like he's using the highlighter to kind of set the cheeks as well. From what I can see, he's just applying it over the cheeks. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of actually set my cheek. And take this little detail brush. He has it like popped right down the center of her nose, the whole way from here down to the tip. So he's popping it underneath her eye, underneath her brow bone rather. So I'm going to do that too. And he also puts a little bit of it in the inner tear duct of Tati's eye. Next, Scott bronzes her, and he takes like a more shimmery bronzer. This is from Makeup Revolution. It comes in different packaging now. And he says he just like rolls it underneath her face. He's using like a bigger brush. But I'm just going to use my Shade and Light brush and just kind of do what he's doing. Just like rolling it on. I don't want too much. Doesn't look like he's applying too much, to be honest. And he's just bringing back the bronze to her forehead, which I guess is going to set my forehead. Do you know what, guys? It's so crazy. I haven't really used that much setting powder, but I feel like my face is quite set. Obviously, because anywhere that I have cream products has some sort of powder on top. So next we're going to move on to lips, and he says that he doesn't make peaks on the mouth. He applies a lip liner to make it more rounded. So I'm going to take my favourite lip liner ever, which is my Inglot 63 liner. It's just my favourite, and it looks like he goes in with a really nude liner and he just applies it along the edges, he says, of where the contour is. So the contour is obviously gives you like a mapping of where your liner goes. So I can't talk through this bit, but you can see what I'm doing. And he feathers in the edges as well, guys. Okay, he does take his time, he said, doing lips and stuff like that. Then he takes a gloss, and the gloss that he takes looks kind of like a warmish nude. So I'm going to take Dose of Colours Barely There nude, and I'm just going to apply that to my lips. And then hers is more clear, but we'll just go with this. He says that he feathers it out to the edges. Okay, next we're going to move on to brows. Scott uses a powder. I'm going to take this one here. This is the Foolproof Brow Powder. He says he doesn't want the brows to be too extreme, so he just uses a powder and he just kind of fills in the brow, kind of like what you would normally do. Now, Tati's brows are a lot warmer than mine. I don't actually have a warmer brow product to use because he says he wants the brows and everything to be warm because the look is all kind of like golden, and that's kind of what he's going for. So he does set the brows, but it's more of like a kind of golden brow setter. I'm just going to take my Gimme Brow from Benefit and I'm just going to set my brows like I normally would. Oh, and also then he takes the bronzer that he used, or a bronzer, to blend up here so that it's not harsh, because obviously I don't know if we even blended that out. I think I did. So I just like skipped that step. So next he moves on to the eyes, and he's doing a dark kind of lid crease or dark shade through her crease. I'm going to take my Soft Glam palette, and the colour looks very similar to Mulberry, but he just uses like a light touch of it, and he says he uses it in a more rounded situation going on in the crease. So that's what we're going to do. Oh god, that shadow is super dark. But that looks quite close to what she has on her crease. So I'm just going to apply it more in a rounded position. What he does is he wings out the corner here. And then it looked like it skipped a frame or something, but it looked like that he put that brown shade underneath her lower lashes too. It looked like it was the whole way under. And then he takes like a little paddle brush and kind of cleans up any of the eyeshadow just to give it more of a crisp line. I do this all the time, or sometimes I will wear tape on my eye to give it like a real crisp line. Then he says he takes a more warm beige shade, which I'm going to go in with Burnt Orange, which I would describe as like a warm beige. And he applies that over the shadow on the lower lash line. He looks like he puts like a coppery warm shade on her lid. I'm going to take the shade Burn from my Naked Reloaded palette because it kind of looked a bit like that. She was like a little bit warmer than that, but sure, look, that's what we're working with. Then he applies mascara. I'm just going to take my favourite new mascara, which is the Catrice Lashes to Kill Sexy Volume Mascara, and he just says he wiggles it from the base of the lash like out. So finally, for lashes, I'm going to take these House of Lashes. These are the Lower Light. They look quite similar to the one Tati has on. They were kind of like spiky, but like still fluffy. So I'm going to apply them off camera, and then I'll come back and talk about the rest of the face. Finally, Scott says that he applies a dark brown to the lower lash line. So I'm going to take Cypress Umber 3 shadows to do the eyes, and then he'll just run it along the inner portion of the lower lashes. I had a terrible time sticking down this lash. It keeps lifting in the inner corner because my eye is watering because I poked myself in the eye when I was trying to do it. So If it looks a bit odd, sorry about that, guys. So that is us donezo, guys, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I need to actually take a closer look because I can't see the viewfinder, I can't see the mirror, I can't see anything because hello, I'm blind. But I am really loving it. To be honest, when I first saw this tutorial like way back when, and I kind of rewatched it then yesterday and again this morning, I thought that this cream contour situation was gonna be a nightmare on my skin. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it or I've done as great a job as obviously Scott, but I think for my face it looks really good. The foundation looks good. I love the way that there was like two mixes of two different foundations, so you kept the center part light and then the outer perimeters kind of had a little bit of darkness. There's a lot of shading, there's a lot of blending. I really liked the amount of cream products in it because I love using cream products on my skin. Now, as we know, Scott mentioned it in the video a numerous amount of times, this is stage acting, film, photographic makeup. It's not makeup for I'm just heading down to the shop. Although I would wear this on a night out, to be honest, because I don't feel like there's any additional steps that I wouldn't already do in my makeup routine. They're just reversed. To be honest, my face actually feels much lighter than normal because I'm not slapping a foundation all over my face. I'm using the cream products to add light and dimension to my face and not just applying a foundation and then trying to add it back in. So actually I think Scott's techniques are way better than the techniques that I personally use for my own skin. The only thing I don't like is the brow, finishing the brow last. I like to do my brows first. I'll always want to do my brows first because I like going around them to kind of shape them, because I feel like if I don't do that and then I just fill them in at the end, they look a little bit messy. That's just my own brows. I'm not, you know, me and my brows ain't getting on lately, so I just like that technique. Scott's whole thing when he describes makeup in the beginning is you don't need that many products to create like a base, and realistically you don't. So I don't know what you guys are thinking of this makeup tutorial. Do you like it? Did you like the techniques? What did you think of the video when you initially saw it? Would you recreate it or try it in your own makeup routine? And like, what aspects of it did you like the best? I want to hear you guys' feedback. I don't think it's going to be something that I will do every day, but it'll definitely be something I would try out on a special occasion, or if I'm going on a night out and I have a bit more time. But if I'm like rushing out the door and I want to put makeup on, that's not where I'm going. And by the way, when I'm rushing out the door, I don't put makeup on at all. Anyway, that is today's video. I hope it's not too long for you guys, but obviously I was following along with somebody and you know how I can just talk a lot. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to all you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.